Hi, in this video I want to show how Tiberian Sun civilian building can be converted to OpenRA Tiberian Dawn Red Alert. So basically this is not isometric and the tiles are much smaller. So this comes with some problems. Mostly the isometric is hard to fix because we have a 2D image and we cannot just rotate it easily. So we have to find ways to fix this or to live with it. But also the colors are a problem and the size and so on. So basically what we're doing here is this should be the right palette. Yeah, now we see how the building looks like. So here in palette Tiberian Sun isotherm, we can check it. Sometimes it's unitherm, but isotherm is for buildings or like civilian buildings. And this is how it looks like. So basically here on the bottom we can see the size is 240 pixel times 144. And if we just select the building, then it's like 77 to 180, so it's about 100 pixel wide. And this is in Tiberian Dawn or Red Alert like 4 pixels. So if we decide, because we have about 24 times 24 tile size, so 24 times 4 is 96. This here is 75 to 180. So even 4 would be a little, it would be just sit a bit over the edges of a tile. And also we have to take into account that 4 is much. So this building would be really big if we don't make it smaller. So I mean, converting it as it is very easy. We just export as images and then we can just pick our CIF building folder, whatever you want. GIF is an option, PNG is an option, it depends on what you're doing. So for this, I think there's not many frames, so we stick with PNG and just call it CIF building. I think this was 7, something like this. Yes. So now we have 4 PNGs here, mission accomplished, cool. And we have this in this. And they're already named with 000 at the end and counting, which is the format you need to import it here again. So if you want to import something from somewhere that needs this format. So then let's just pick. We can now import it again, and the thing we do now is we just say this is Tiberian Dawn and this is buildings, and we want to have the auto select background pixel by 00. So this will be the blue in the corners. And then if we just import it here, it looks like this. And the important thing here is now we are in a different palette. So we are in the Tiberian Dawn palette here. If you switch to Tiberian Sun isotherm, it looks like this. So that's already the solution to how to get the stuff into different palettes. Very easy. Then we can go through all the frames and then we see it's still the same, but of course shadows work differently sometimes, so it might not what we want. But this can also be fixed. It depends on what you're basically doing. So now we take some graphic editing program like Paint.net, for example. So what you can do here, we can open all of these 4 and realize, okay, cool, this one is the one we see, this is the damage one, maybe we also want this. Here's a shadow and here's a shadow. It's very likely this is the shadow that belongs to this one, you know. And then if we have something like Tiberian Dawn, then the shadow is included in the picture, and if you have Tiberian Sun or Red Alert too, then the shadow is on its own frame. Actually, it's also possible to just don't use the shadow at all and just put the shadow in the YAML file and let the engine put a shadow down. This works surprisingly well with OpenRA, so also an option. The best way is to try out the different options, see how it looks like. So this one, we can select everything. Then we use this funny tool here. Now we have all the blue stuff selected, and then there's some invert selection. So now we only have the building. Then we can take the building to here, and we see here this is the building, here's the shadow, and the shadow basically we can find the color of it, or we can also select it like this, but then we need less tolerance. Then we only have here the shadow, and we might want to change the color. Where's the colors? It's the color wheel, so we can just go for this green here. Nice. I don't know if it's the right green, we'll see. And now we save this. It's picture 3, I guess now, or 2. Let's start with 0. Yeah. We do the same for the damaged building. No. So now there's one more point you have to take care. If you just press this button here, it will enclose this, but we also want to have the gaps in between, so we need to select global here. I mean, it depends on what graphic program you prefer. Now these are also selected. This one is simple and easy, and for most of us it's fine, but if you want to do really awesome stuff, of course you need something better like Photoshop. But I'm also not an expert on this. That I'm explaining this as an idiot for idiots. Yeah, so here again, we pick this one, we put it here. Now we want to select this color everywhere again. And we also have this areas here, I think. But it has also selected these ones. Confused. Ah, the tolerance must be even lower. The shadow is too... What? That's a bit strange. Something does not work here. I don't know. Oh wait, this is on a different layer. Yeah. Okay, now it might work. Yeah. Ah, this also has the global setting, I guess. So it's almost working. Yeah, this looks good. I think this does not change much tolerance here. Okay, and here we put in the same funny color again. So now we save this also. Here, these two we can throw away, and these two we change to 0 and to 1, and now we import it again. Same story as before. TD, buildings, I don't even know if this makes a difference here. And 0, 0 selected, and that's how it looks like. Now, one thing is wrong here. This is 167. This is actually not the shadow color. The shadow color in TD is a different one. This one here is the shadow color. So we apply always to all frames. In 2 frames we could do it for each, but of course we want to be faster. So this is now the correct frame, the correct color for the shadow, and it also goes for here. Very nice. Now we can save this thing. We call it SHP, and yeah, that's how we do it. I would suggest also, if we look into the code, let's just try it out on a not power plant. Just call it This is how we call it the sprite file. This not power plant here for testing purpose has a scale of 0.5. So this will also cut the size in half. And now we check how it looks like. Let's see. The thing is, the thing with this stuff is that we want, I mean, you could just make the image smaller. Oh, it just crashed. Ah, yeah, I see. So this nuke building has a length of 4, but we just deleted this stuff. But actually we only want a length of 1. We don't have any animation here. Because the damaged frame we could also put yes here for damaged idle and then start at 2, length is 1. Let's see if it works. So the basic idea of this render scale 0.5, normally you don't want to use that. Oh, we have more errors here. It's a bit stupid because I only want to show this image manipulation and not funny errors. MIP format 7 is not supported. Ah, fuck my life. Oh, the Arctic Circle ORA map. It's a bit strange. Because now we're debugging different stuff. This is actually not the idea here. Let's just try this simpler. So the idea of the render sprite 0.5 is we have a bigger sprite with more details, more resolution, and then we scale it down to half, fit it in, fine. And on the long run, the idea is to maybe scale up the mod and have everything with more resolution, but then everything must be in a high resolution, otherwise it's a problem. But if I start now with all the buildings scaled down from a higher resolution and everything I put in the mod, at some point it becomes feasible to switch and go to the high resolution style, like remaster or so. Maybe this map is not so good for testing. Let's just go with it. Okay, cool. Maybe take a not faction just for the fun of it. Now, when we place a not building, we should actually see this stuff. So, yeah, here it already shows up. And yeah, you see the building had a shadow here. This is the shadow we have drawn. It looks good. It has some problems. Like here, the selection box is really big. And also, if you look at it, it's a bit over the right stretched over to the right, and on the left there's some space. This is something we can fix in the YAML code of OpenRA as well as in the sprite. So if you just go out again, we're here, for example. The reason is quite simple. If we look at a building, here's a lot of space, here's less space. So what we should do, we should just go for resize canvas, and then in resize canvas, on the top I'd say it's fine. On the bottom I'd say we could even remove like 10 pixels, maybe 5. On the left there's a lot to remove, maybe 50. On the right maybe 20. So if we do this, then it's cut much better. I'd still say on the left we should remove some, like -20. Let's see how that works. Ah yeah, it's like that. Maybe even -10. No, that's too much. -5. Yeah, so now we save the shit again, and let's go for it. So, hello. Oh, it's leaning so much more to the left. It's actually not what we wanted. I'd even say it's too big still, right? So if you look at it, I think the distance to the right is quite okay. But now one has to think about maybe this building should not be a 2x2 or with building BIP. The stuff on the bottom here, it's only broken because we use this scaling and can be fixed. It's not a big thing. But maybe this building should be 3x2 and not 2x2. Well, yeah. This would make more sense for this building, but we could also try to scale it down. It's something that might make sense. Which is the last thing that we do here. So now everything is in TD palette and we can do stuff with it. Yeah, so here is, maybe we should close these. So this tool here has some features to scale down, but it's total crap, don't use it. And the reason is that the algorithm is not, you cannot select the algorithm and the one that's selected is bad. Here, if you do resize, so it's somewhere, I think, I don't know, I use the hotkey all the time for this. Yeah, here. Then you could say like, make it 50%. Or just enter some new numbers, keep ratio, don't keep ratio. I'm sorry it's in German, but it's at the same position if you do it in English. So here you can set the algorithm. And this is very useful for this thing, because it changes a lot what you pick here. If you take best quality and you do this, then it will blur out a little bit, or sometimes even a lot, and often not giving you the best quality. So that's why it often makes a lot more sense to use like bcubic. Oh, sorry, 50. Bcubic and then 50%. Let's go for it. Often blurs out stuff much less, but it can lead to artifacts. Actually, I'm an idiot, because this is still the old stuff here. And we want the new stuff, right? This one here. We export it to images, same stuff as usual. Let's go for it. Yeah, now this is what we have. Here's everything in that we have done. And we might want to change the size to maybe 50% is not so good, maybe 66%. And then bilinear is less, so like bcubic will average a bit less and a bit sharper, and bilinear will smooth out a bit more, and maybe you can see it's a bit more pixel mushy and smooth, which is often not good for pixel art to do this. So then we could also use nearest neighbor, which then does no smoothing at all. It just picks the color and it gets a bit more rough, as you see. And best way is to check in game what makes sense. Super sampling, we could also use this one. Super sampling, let's go for it. 50%. And this one is very, very washed out and very smooth. I would not use that. So often a good one to use is the bcubic one. 50%. Same here. Very nice. Let's import this stuff again. Where's the prompt here? We want the low. Okay. TD buildings. Actually, this is no longer necessary because it's already right. Here's our new building and we save it to yes. And let's give it another try. We take the funny knots again. And that's how it looks like now. So it's very small, but I think it fits the purpose. Maybe the 66% would have been better. But now the shadow is corrupt. Something It's strange that the whole shadow is broken. But one could have seen this already here. Somehow the color 41 got in there. This surely from the resizing. So if we save this, one last try. Yeah, shadow is back, but still there's some pixels here. So the best way to fix such things is zoom in here. I mean, best way is to prevent it from straight from the beginning. Somehow here we did something wrong, but you can select such a pixel here, 166 for example, then use Alt and A, which is to replace color. You can also click this button here for it. And then select this one, apply to all frames, and then all these pixels will be changed. I think now it's fine. So yeah, so far for that. Getting the stuff to look nice mostly means using these programs correctly. You can also do stuff here. It depends what you're doing. And one more important thing, if you have something that has a lot of frames, like if tanks rotate, they easily have 32 frames. If infantry is walking and stuff like this, 500 frames, it happens really fast. Then obviously you don't want to export 500 frames here. Then you export a GIF. Here you can also tell the to export as a GIF. Then you have one file, and then you use a different tool. So this tool here is for single images. There's even online converters that allow you to scale down GIFs. I think one good one is Red Ketchup. Yeah, there is already. Here you can upload your GIF. And then uploading the GIF means, yeah, you can select all kind of stuff. And the interesting stuff here again is how do you want to resample. Here is again nearest neighbor and other algorithms. Try them out, you'll see the difference pretty easily and be able to make stuff look good. Yeah, so far, thanks for watching.